The Gan 356 XS, or just XS, is Gan's newest flagship speed cube released in October 2019 last year, and is the upgrade of Gan's previous flagship speed cube, the Gan 356X. A lot of new innovations are used in this cube, as well as other upgrades that makes it better than the 356X. Starting from the specs, the XS is 56mm long and weighs about 67 grams, making it lighter than any other flagship cube in the market right now. Gan achieved this by using a completely plastic core and eliminating the magnet bars previously used in the 354M, I, and the X. On the surface, the stickerless XS has a frosted surface like the 356i. This can prevent the cube from getting scratched, as well as fingerprint markings. However, the downside is that the grip will not be as good and requires some time to get used to it. When you turn the XS slowly, you can feel the defined magnetic bump as well as an incredibly smooth feeling that you don't always feel. When turned quickly, the XS is fast, stable, and airy. Sometimes it feels like it's gliding on air. Of course, the XS performed very well as its own, but that isn't its main selling point. The Gan XS has two new special features: adjustable magnets like these, as well as a whole new dual adjustment system, which Gan calls it the GES Pro Dual Elasticity System. Let's first talk about the adjustable magnets. Gan's adjustable magnets is very similar to the Yuexiao Pro EDM, but instead of having two settings, the XS offers three settings: strong, medium, and weak. To adjust the magnets, simply misalign the upper layer by 45 degrees, then push the magnets to your desired magnetic strength. When the magnet is towards the core, it is the weakest. When it's towards you, it's the strongest, and obviously if the magnet is in the middle, it's the moderate setting. You can understand more by taking a look at Gan's pamphlet. How this works is that there is a corner magnet that stays stationary. When the magnet is towards the core, the edge magnet misaligns with the corner magnet, making the magnetic strength weaker. Now, I will talk about which setting will suit you. On weak magnets, the cube is a little unstable without the strong magnets, and the magnetic bump is not very obvious. I really don't like the weak magnets, and therefore I will not be recommending the weak setting. On moderate magnets, the cube feels a lot better and has increased little stability. The cube fluxes not as much, and you can feel a pretty strong magnetic bump when you turn slowly. Personally, I would not prefer the moderate setting, but I would recommend the moderate setting if you don't like stronger magnets but want a stable cube. On strong magnets, the cube feels really nice with the fusion with the magnets, and personally I would be using this setting. However, please adjust to your preference of magnets instead of following mine, because everyone has a different preference of magnetic strength. Now the second function, as said before, is Gan's newest dual adjustment system, which replaced the previous GES system used in the SM, R, 354, and X. This is where things get a bit complicated, but I'll try to make it easier to understand. The XS DES contains two pieces, a numerical variable nut and a clear numerical nut. The numerical variable nut controls spring, compression, and puzzle tension, while the clear numerical nut controls the cube's stability as well as speed. To adjust the numerical variable nut, simply place your fingers on the clear variable nut. Then you can press down and rotate the whole nut, and you can adjust the numerical variable nut to your own liking. There are two different kinds of numerical variable nuts, a light blue one and a dark blue one, and both have unique different settings. To change to a different color nut, you need to press down and do the same thing, but instead of rotating it to the number, rotate to the stop sign. Once you rotate to the stop sign, you can actually take the pieces out and you can swap it back in by taking this and put it inside. Then, after you put it inside, rotate it again so it can be in either one of these numbers. As I said before, there are 4 different settings, and all 4 different settings increases and decreases an aspect of the cube. When the numerical variable nuts equals to 1, there will be better anti-pop and anti-corner twist, but corner cutting will not be as good. When the numerical nuts equals 4, there will be better corner cutting, but pop and corner twist will happen more frequently. As shown in Gan's pamphlet, 2 is a setting where the 2 lines intersect, which means that 2 is a setting where corner cutting and anti-pop will be equally as good. Now let's talk about what the clear numerical nut does. Adjusting the clear numerical nut requires a new tool that hasn't been seen before, which is this little boy out here. And so basically, to adjust the clear numerical nut, put the tool into the notches of the clear nut, then rotate the tool anti-clockwise. So the clear nut will start adjusting, and whenever you hear a click sound like this, it means that it is a different setting. There are 6 different settings, where 1 is when the clear nut is the highest, and 6 is where the nut is lowest. So for example, right now the clear nut is on the high setting, so which means it's setting 1. Then you put the tool into the notches of the clear nut, then you rotate it anti-clockwise. Click, now this is setting 2, setting 3, setting 4, setting 5, setting 6. After setting 6, the clear nut will automatically pop up, and it will go back to the first setting. On setting 1, the cube will feel extremely unstable, and the cube will be incredibly fast. On setting 6, the cube will be a lot more stable, but it's a little slow. This means that the higher the number is, the slower but stabler the cube is. That's because there's a spring attached to the clear numerical nut. Therefore, whenever the nut goes down, the spring tenses more, which makes the cube harder to turn. And so therefore, combined with the numerical variable nut and the adjustable magnetic system, the cube has a total of 72 different settings, which is probably the most out of all the non-screw setting cubes. Now let's take a look at the pieces. The XS has used similar design that previous Gan cubes has, but instead of having a white base, the XS has a black one. So a white base makes the cube have a smoother and more textured feeling, while the black one makes the cube faster as well as smoother. The XS still uses Gan's signature honeycomb pattern, but at different locations. For the edge, only the front of the edge has the honeycomb pattern, while the side does not, and instead there's only an adjustable magnetic system. For a corner piece, there's still a honeycomb pattern all around the cube, but instead the base is covered with a bumpy and textured pattern. So for some of you that don't know, the honeycomb pattern is used to preserve and distribute lube evenly across all the pieces in the cube. Now I'm going to talk about my overall thoughts about the cube, as well as whether you should buy it or not. Personally, I'm using strong magnets, setting 3 on the numerical variable nut, and setting 5 on the clear numerical nut. I would not recommend settings 1 to 4 for the clear numerical nut, as those are way too fast and makes the cube very unstable. For a numerical variable nut, I think any setting is fine, and therefore just adjust it to your own liking. So far, I'm getting great times with this puzzle. The frosted matte finish is hard to get used to, but after doing 500 solves on this, I'm already used to the feeling of the cube. Now, I'm going to say whether the cube is worth it or not. Instead of saying whether it is worth it or vice versa, I'll be telling you who the XS is for, and so you can decide for yourself. You should definitely buy the XS if 1. You're a huge Gan fan and own every single cube Gan has released. 2. You really like the feelings previous Gan cubes have. 3. You want an extremely stable and smooth cube. 4. You have an iPhone XS and want a cube that's similar to the iPhone XS. 5. You're just rich and don't care how much money you spend on anything, including expensive Gucci bags. 6. You're a cube collector and you like collecting all kinds of cubes. However, you definitely shouldn't buy the XS if 1. You hate how Gan cubes feel. 2. You are a Gan hater. 3. You already have a Weilong Worm or a Vault 3 Elite as your main. 4. You hate adjusting cubes. 5. You're broke. 6. You have slippery hands, which means you will never get used to the XS frosted matte finish. And that's all. If you like this video, smash the like button as well as subscribe. Also, click the notification bell for more awesome cubing content in the future. My next video will be comparing the Gan XS as well as the iPhone XS, so stay tuned for that video. Just kidding. Anyways, good luck and happy cubing.